Let us begin regularly with your definition, according to which you define free will thus. Moreover, I consider free will in this light, that it is a power in the human will by which a man may apply himself to those things which lead unto eternal salvation, or turn away from the same. With a great deal of policy indeed, you have here stated a mere naked definition, without declaring any part of it, as all others do, because perhaps you feared more shipwrecks than one. I therefore am compelled to state the several parts myself. The thing defined itself, if it be closely examined, has a much wider extent than the definition of it, and such a definition the sophists would call faulty, that is, when the definition does not fully embrace the thing defined. For I have shown before that free will cannot be applied to anyone but to God only. You may perhaps rightly assign to man some kind of will, but to assign unto him free will in divine things is going too far. For the term free will in the judgment of the ears of all means that which can and does do Godward whatever it pleases, restrainable by no law and no command. But you cannot call him free who is a servant acting under the power of the Lord. How much less then can we rightly call men or angels free who so live under the all-overruling command of God, to say nothing of sin and death, that they cannot consist one moment by their own power. Here then at the outset, the definition of the term and the definition of the thing termed militate against each other, because the term signifies one thing, and the thing termed is, by experience, found to be another. It would indeed be more properly termed vertible will, or mutable will. For in this way Augustine, and after him the sophists, diminished the glory and force of the term free, adding thereby this detriment, that they assign vertibility to free will. And it becomes us thus to speak, lest by inflated and lofty terms of empty sound we should deceive the hearts of men. And, as Augustine also thinks, we ought to speak according to a certain rule, in sober and proper words, for in teaching, simplicity and propriety of argumentation is required, and not high-flown figures of rhetorical persuasion. Section 42. But that we might not seem to delight in a mere war of words, we cede to that abuse, though great and dangerous, that free will means vertible will. We will cede also that to Erasmus, where he makes free will a power of the human will, as though angels had not a free will too, merely because he designed in this book to treat only on the free will of men, we make this remark, otherwise, even in this part, the definition would be too narrow to embrace the thing defined. We come then to those parts of the definition which are the hinge upon which the matter turns. Of these things some are manifest enough, the rest shun the light, as if conscious to themselves that they had everything to fear, because nothing ought to be expressed more clearly and more decisively than a definition. For to define obscurely is the same thing as defining nothing at all. The clear parts of the definition then are these: power of human will, and by which a man can, also unto eternal salvation. But these are andabatai, to apply, and to those things which lead, also to turn away. What shall we divine that this to apply means, and this to turn away also, and also what these words mean which pertain unto eternal salvation? Into what dark corner have these withdrawn their meaning? I seem as if I were engaged in a dispute with a very Scotinian, or with Heraclitus himself, so as to be in the way of being worn out by a twofold labour. First, that I shall have to find out my adversary by groping and feeling about for him in pits and darkness, which is an enterprise both venturous and perilous, and if I do not find him, to fight to no purpose with ghosts, and beat the air in the dark. And secondly, if I should bring him out into the light, that then I shall have to fight with him upon equal ground, when I am already worn out with hunting after him.